All right, we want to look at how we can calculate molar mass of substances, amount of substances, and mass of substances. But let us look at this question here. In a lab experiment, a student was required to prepare 500 centimeter cube of 1.0 molar solution of glucose. And this is the molecular formula C6H12O6. And we have the relative atomic numbers or masses. That is C equal to 12, H equal to 1, oxygen equal to 16. Determine I, molar mass of glucose, amount of glucose in moles in the solution, mass of glucose contained in the solution. All right, let us look at the answer for this question. So first of all, we want to use this concept to calculate our molar mass since the relative atomic masses are being given to us. So we say molar mass of glucose, that is, we can use capital M to represent our molar mass into bracket C6H12O6. What it means here is that the 6 is multiplying the carbon, 12 is multiplying hydrogen, 6 is multiplying oxygen. So we are going to use their numbers to represent them, all right? But according to the formula, we are going to sum them. So C6 plus H12 plus O6. So we have the 6 multiplying, that is the carbon, we put it in one bracket, plus 12 multiplying the hydrogen, we put it in one bracket, plus 6 multiplying oxygen, which is 16, as we can see here. So this by that will give us 72, this by this will give us 12, this by this will give us 96. After that, we add everything, which will give us 180 gram per mole. So this is the unit for molar mass. All right, let's look at how we can find the amount of glucose in the solution. Now, in the question, we have been given the concentration of glucose, that is 1.0 molar. All right. We also have been given the volume of glucose. And don't forget, our volume is in centimeter cube, and our calculation needs to be done in decimeter cube. So we are going to change from centimeter cube to decimeter cube before we can do our calculation. So we divide it by 1,000, and that will give us 0.5 dm cube. Therefore, from our concentration, we know that concentration can be defined as number of moles dissolved in 1 dm cube of a solution, or the amount of substance dissolved in 1 dm cube of a solution. From that definition, we can say concentration is equal to mole over volume. All right. So from here, we can say mole is equal to concentration times volume, as we can see. We can say mole is equal to concentration times volume. All right. So the mole of glucose, which is N we are looking for, we know the concentration, we also know the volume. So we fix our values into it, and that will give us 0.5 mole, as we can see. The next one is we are looking for the mass of the glucose. All right. And we have been given, or we calculate for our molar mass already, as we know it here. We also have the mole, as we know it here. And the unit for the mole is mole in short. All right. So we can also say that mole is equal to mass over molar mass. All right. And this formula, we can also get it from the definition of molar mass. All right. If they ask you what is molar mass, is the mass of 1 mole of any substance. So we can say molar mass is equal to mass over mole. Therefore, mole will be equal to mass over molar mass. So we say mole is equal to mass over molar mass here. So this is also short. So what are we looking for? We are looking for the mass. All right. So we make mass the subject. So mass is equal to mole over molar mass. We know our mole, we know our molar mass, we multiply them, and that will give us 90 gram. So we say mass of glucose is what? 90 gram. There will be a question for students to try. So stay tuned.